Before you give up hope, go directly to the source. Today, in episode 42, we are talking all about when you feel like you have exhausted all of your options, you have tried everything. As a culture coach, I run into clients feeling so overwhelmed and frustrated because everything they try doesn't get them the result they want. Once we get to that point, we go to the source. And so today I am going to give you some tips on how to go to the source, how to talk to the people that you need to talk to truly problem solve and overcome whatever negative result you are getting so that you can see a more positive result. Welcome to the What If It Works podcast. I'm your host, Annn Vogt. For those of you who don't know, I coach leaders on how to create environments where people can thrive. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing today while we problem solve with how to get a new result. Let's get into it. I'm going to give you a couple different examples today. One of them is a work example, and one of them is a home example. It is a very personal example that had a lot of emotions connected to it, but man, was it a worth it conversation in the end. First, I want to tell you about one of my clients. So as a culture coach, I work with my clients to think through problems with individuals, and we talk about that individual. We think through how we have asked them to change a behavior in the past, how we can recommunicate that to them in a new way, right? And we really try to problem solve with knowing the situation and looking at the negative result that we are getting, really set our sights on the positive result that we want to see, and then take the strategies and the actions that are going to get us a new result. Sometimes, however, nothing works. We try different strategies. We try to be super clear on our expectations. We try to follow up. We try to ask questions, right? We really do our best to set this person up for success, and we just don't see the result we want. And when that happens, I'm going to tell you to go directly to the source. I'm going to ask you to get super vulnerable and go to this individual and say, this is the negative result that we are seeing, we are gaining, we are getting, right? We want this positive result, but we're having a difficult time getting there, and I need your help. So one of my clients recently had an employee who was constantly on his phone, to the point that my client had written this gentleman up 4 times in a short amount of time about being on his phone. And he said to me, my client said to me, Annn, this is an incredibly knowledgeable human being. Their skills are top notch. He is one of my best guys in terms of quality of work that he is producing. But he is constantly on his phone. And I've tried asking him nicely to get off his phone. I've tried walking over while he's on his phone to say, hey, reminder, we need to not be on our phones. I've tried writing him up. Like, nothing is working. And so I don't want to fire this guy because he can't get off his phone, but I don't know what else to do. And I was like, all right, since you mentioned that he is an incredible employee and brings value to the team, let's think differently about this problem. I want you to go approach this person tomorrow when they are not on their phone. So not in the heat of the moment, not when we catch them in the act, opposite, when they are not on their phone. And you're going to approach him and you're going to simply say, I just want to have a conversation with you because I've continually seen you on your phone, even though I've tried multiple strategies. I've tried this, I've tried this, and I've tried this, and I'm just not sure how to get you to change your behavior. And so I want to ask you, what ideas do you have so that we can keep you producing high quality work and keep you on staff here, but also have you not on your phone? And before, as I was prepping my client to talk about this, I said, what ideas do we have for this individual in case they don't know what else they could do? And so my client and I brainstormed a couple of strategies and a couple of ideas. Okay. The next day, actually, it might have been that day because I meet with him in the morning. It might have been that day. He went up to this employee who was in a great mood. My client was in a great mood. Everything was going well. And that's when we decided to have the conversation because now we're not emotionally attached to the cell phone usage, right? So my client walked up, said exactly what I had said just a second ago. And the team member said, I don't know what to do. I know I shouldn't be on it, but I constantly find myself on it. And so my client and I had brainstormed, is there a place to set your phone so you won't constantly think about grabbing it and pressing play on YouTube, right? And so, because he had been keeping it on his workbench. And so my client said, what if you kept it in your pocket? Or what if you kept it in your jacket pocket in the break room? Because you're an incredible employee and I just really don't want to lose you, but I want to help you figure out this situation so that we can move forward together. And the employee said, you know what, I think if it's in my back pocket, I'll find it, I'll reach for it, and I'll set it on my workbench because that's what I've been doing. So I'll try to put it in my jacket pocket, which they all keep. They can't have them on, obviously, in the shop. And so I'll try to keep it in my jacket pocket on my hook in the break room. And my client was like, awesome. I just really want you to be like to win this situation. And I think that's really going to help. When I tell you, that was probably 2 weeks ago, I just had a meeting on Monday with my client and he said, still no cell phone, still haven't seen it out. Sometimes we got to go to the source because we have tried everything and they're the person who knows best and they're the person who's going to have to take the action. So we really need them bought in to whatever action it is that we are suggesting so that they want to take the action and they want to see the result, right? So that was such a win. My client was so excited. He's now used that with a couple other employees about like not wearing safety glasses. Another employee who's just really taking extra long time to get work done. And so just having a conversation about, the amount of time it takes you to do this one project is double the amount of time of the rest of the team. And I want to help you be more productive or more efficient with your time while producing a high quality product like you produce, right? And so my clients really been utilizing this strategy and I just want to empower you to empower others to think through problems and solutions together because that is how you are going to get movement faster when you are having conversations with other people, pulling them into the situation and literally helping them create the action that's going to get them moving toward that positive result, right? Okay. I want to transition to a home situation. And the way this played out was beautiful. It was not fun in the moment. So my husband and I, obviously we've got 2 kids. Our son he's just kind of a wild card, right? Like we're not quite sure what we're going to get all the time. And so there's just a lot of inconsistent behaviors. Some nights he goes and brushes his teeth and gets his pajamas on with no conversation needed, right? And other nights it is a fight to just get him to go into the bathroom and brush his teeth. And so one of the nights, a couple weeks ago, last week, maybe the week before, my husband had asked him, hey, time to go brush teeth. And Landon said, well, I need a snack. And then my husband said, hey, Kate, you're done with your snack. Time to go brush teeth. And he gave another excuse. And then Brian was like, hey, I need you to go brush your teeth. To which Landon went down the hallway like he was going to go to the bathroom to brush his teeth, but instead he came into my office. And he came into my office like guns blazing. How come you get to be on technology at night? I happened to be a guest on a podcast recently, and it was an evening interview. So in he comes. How come you get to be on your computer at night? And I was like, hey, buddy, like that's not something he would normally bring up. And so could kind of feel there was some tension. He was upset. He was frustrated. There was really nothing I was going to be able to say to like bring down the level. And so I realized what time it was. And I said, oh no, it is 8:20. We need to go brush our teeth. And he was like, I'm not brushing my teeth. Right. And now we are in like a full on battle over brushing his teeth. So I ask him nicely again. I kind of distract him for a minute or two, and we look at the weather for the next day. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, it's time to brush teeth. And no, doesn't do it. So now his dad has asked him 3 times. I have asked him 3 times, nicely, calmly, all the things, right? Well, after the third time, where my son says no, my husband comes in and raises his voice and is like, I have asked you 3 times. Your mom has asked you 3 times. It is time. Go brush your teeth. To which my son gets very emotional and runs down the hallway and goes into the bathroom and yells something out of the bathroom. To which my husband walks up to the bathroom door and says, what did you say? And he's like, I just need 2 minutes to myself. And Landon's crying, and Brian's like, okay, take your 2 minutes. So he takes his 2 minutes, to which, by the way, I was very proud as a mom that he spoke up and said, hey, I need 2 minutes. Now, some of you are right now being like, oh, he's just looking for more time, right? Avoiding brushing his teeth, which he was. But he took 2 minutes. I knocked on the door, asked if he was ready to brush his teeth, and he was like, not yet. And I was like, okay, are you open for a conversation? He was like, sure. So I come in, I'm like, what's up? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, great. It's okay not to know. It is now 8:30. And now it is time to just brush our teeth. So if I shut the door, can you get your teeth brushed and come out and we'll go down to bed? He was like, okay. So he does that. Now he comes out of the bathroom just skipping, happy-go-lucky, ready for some fun. And my husband and I are like feeling pretty stressed that like we do not normally yell. We do not raise our voices. And when we do, we like just don't feel good about it, right? So we're kind of like up here, not feeling great about the situation, and out skips our son. And I'm like, okay, we're going to have a conversation about this. So we get down to his bedroom, we kind of do our nighttime routine. And then I decide to use this strategy where I'm like, hey, buddy, here's a little bit about us. Like Dad and I, we try our best to ask you nicely. We try to make sure we give you a reason why. We really try to make sure you understand like it's time and you need to brush your teeth. Like we really help you out, and then we ask you kindly. So when you refuse and continually refuse, we don't have tools to get you to brush your teeth. Like we don't have the tools to continually ask you in new ways for you to brush your teeth. And one of the tools our parents used that we use to this day is once we hit a certain point, we raise our voice, and that usually causes you to now take action. So that has taught us that when we get frustrated, if we raise our voice, you will do what we need you to do. Now, you're not always happy about it, and we aren't happy about it. So what can we do to get you to take action without raising our voice? And Landon thought about it, and he was like, yeah, I don't know. You should probably just yell. Which was not the response we wanted, but it was kind of the honest response. Like he understands we did ask nice. Man, 6 times. Come on now. He's 9. He should know, right? And so it was just kind of funny that his response was like, yeah, you know what? You probably just do need to yell because that is what's going to get me to take action. So that one did not have the end result that I was hoping for, which was, maybe him giving us a new way to approach the situation so that he knows we mean business. And that's what we were kind of telling him is like, when we raise our voice, we know that tells you like we are serious. And, my son is kind of a more silly, goofy, happy-go-lucky kind of kid. And so when we get to that serious tone, he's like, oh, he can feel it, right? Like this is different, which is why he takes action usually following that. But we don't like yelling, and he doesn't like when we yell. And so we're trying to work on that now. But I just wanted to paint that picture of if you are having problems at home with one of your kids, with your spouse, like just be vulnerable and ask, this is what I've been doing to get this result. It's not working. What can I try so that we can get this result, right? Maybe it's getting ready in the morning. Maybe it's getting their shoes on. Maybe it's your kid remembering their homework when they get home. Like, what can I do to help us get to this result? But what can you also do so that we get to that result together, right? So really help other people understand they're a part of the solution. They're not just the problem. And I know that's how some of us have been raised. We've been raised to believe like we're the problem, not that we have the solutions. We just need to take action to then get the result that we want to see. I want to empower you. The next time you run into a problem, go to the source. Go directly to the individual involved and paint them the picture. Here's the result we've been getting. Here's the result we want. Here is the actions we've tried. What other actions can we take in order to get the positive result that we want to see? And what if it works? I know there are so many of you out there who are stressed and frustrated over an individual at work or at home. And you're beating yourself over the head with what else can I do? Or why won't they do what I need them to do? And so go to the source. Go find out what their ideas are and come at them in this patient tone, this understanding and curious tone of how can we make this result happen, right? Because this could go a very different way. We could say things like, the only way you listen to me is when I yell, so what else am I supposed to do? Right? That is a very different way of handling that situation. And so come with that curiosity, come with that kindness of that genuine attitude of, I want to solve this problem. I've tried a few things, they're not working. What can we do together to get a new result? And again, when you involve the other person, they are bought in on the solution. They are bought in that their actions make a difference, and they're bought in that you are someone who's going to help them get this new result. And that is going to create action, and that is going to create momentum. And that is what we want. That is how we create cultures where people can thrive, because they feel movement. They feel positivity around the actions that they are taking. And let me tell you, you can do this. It might be uncomfortable at first, but once you get that first one out of the way, I promise you it will come more naturally. Because if you think about it, reverse the situation. Someone has a problem with you and they're trying all these different things and they're not getting the result they want, but you don't even know what that result is. You don't even know that your actions are seriously causing this person stress and frustration. And so what would you want them to do? You would want them to respect you, to put the two of you on the same level, have an open and honest conversation about it so that you can take action and you can solve the problem together. A reminder, you cannot transform your culture without taking action, without having these conversations, without going to the source, being vulnerable, and problem solving together. But I know you can do it. When you listen to this episode and take action and see results, I need you to come back here and comment, whether it be on social media or send me an email over on impact@annvote.com. I love hearing your stories. I'm so grateful for those of you who have reached out and said, it worked. Like, what if it works? It worked, Ann. And that fuels me up to continue to create content for you to use and start to see a shift in your environment. And I just want to help you go out there and create change. And that is what we are doing together right now. And I could not be more proud of what we are doing and what we will achieve and how that will positively impact and influence other people, because that is what we were put on this earth to do, is positively impact and influence other people. And that is what we are doing when we step into our leadership and go and take action. So thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. You are making a difference.